Good evening. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Sunday Sauce, episode 5. We know we weren't here for you last week. We had some scheduling conflicts, so we took our own little all-star break. Andrew, how you doing today?
I'm good. So we took an all-star break because we all are all-stars.
We are all-stars. And we have some all-stars on the other side of the fence. We'll start with our friends over at the Primetime Rundown. We can't be here without the help from them. You can catch Joe, Ian, and Rob every Friday at 7. They talk all things sports. They have some great guests come on the show. If you can't catch them live, not a big deal. You catch them on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube, along with iHeartRadio. We also couldn't be here without our friends over at the Essential Wrestling Podcast. You can join Al, John, Ryan, and Gary every Tuesday at 5 p.m., same places, same times, for everything wrestling. That's a mouthful.
That's a mouthful.
We got a lot today.
We do. It's been a busy week.
And oddly enough, a little bit Islander, not so much you guys, because you guys are one of 3 people graced with an actual Olympic break at the moment.
Yeah, we don't really have any makeup games.
Yeah, you guys. I don't think you guys come back till
Tuesday versus Boston.
Tuesday, but then I think you're off again for 4 days after that.
Tuesday, Thursday, and then I think we're off till the next week. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's you might as well have a break anyway.
I'm bored.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm overwhelmed, and I'm getting overwhelmed with bad hockey. Let's start with one of the bigger things we've been talking about in the last few weeks with the Canadiens and all of their nonsense. So earlier this week, the Canadiens would hire Hockey Hall of Famer, Stanley Cup champion, Martin St. Louis as their interim head coach for the remainder of the season. Seems like an interesting move to do mid-season, especially when you haven't eclipsed double-digit wins and seeing that the first overall pick is everything except officially yours. Look, if it was me, I probably wouldn't have made such a change. I would have just taken the guaranteed pick, but I guess at this point you're playing for pride, so you got to do something.
That's one way to put it.
And the best way to show that you're playing for pride is to get slapped around 5-2 in your new coach's debut.
Yeah. Hey, at least they scored 2.
Yeah, I mean, by Montreal standards, that's pretty well. I get the mid-season coaching change, but I don't. Like I said, it's the first overall pick is kind of like one of those things where it almost seems like it's a necessity for that team at that point, and they probably need the next 4 or 5 first overall picks with it. But pride's got to be out the window at this point. You've already done enough damage to embarrass yourselves.
You have 8 wins in 47 games. There ain't no pride.
Yeah, 8 wins, 47 games, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't even think, even with 8 wins, I don't think they've even eclipsed 20 points yet.
They have 23.
Oh, so they have
7
overtime losses, yeah. 8, 32, and 7. My goodness. Those are Buffalo numbers. No offense to Buffalo, but
Buffalo's won 6 more games than that, man.
Yeah, Buffalo has nearly doubled their win total.
Yeah, Buffalo almost won the other night.
I mean, but it's crazy. You think about Montreal's 8, 32, and 7, and then you have Colorado, who's they have as many losses as Montreal does wins. They're 33, 8, and 4.
Unreal, dude. It's like those two played each other. It would be like a senior in high school playing against a kindergartner.
That would seriously be like a high school hockey team versus BU. Actually, no, it would be more like a high school hockey team versus Colorado. But
yeah,
but it's Seattle is doing better than they are, and Seattle's expectations were pretty low after the second week of the year.
Yeah,
Even
Arizona's starting to gain away from them.
Yeah, I mean, Arizona's got 12-32-4, 28 points. And not to mention, Arizona's been playing. They're not winning, but they're playing decent hockey recently.
That Tendy's nuts, dude. Velmenko, whatever his name is, he's kind of nuts.
Yeah, it's not often you can have a goalie who can go out and routinely have a 45 save, 1 goal against, 1-0 loss.
Facts.
But yeah, I mean, like when Arizona, who is arguably tied for the league laughing stock right now, and we'll get to that later, but when they are ahead of you in the overall standings, like that's even at 31, that's still embarrassing.
Yeah, it's not great. I mean, I consider this coaching decision kind of just like, oh, why not? Let's see what happens kind of thing.
That's all it can be at this point.
Yeah.
Like
they're going to see if St. Louis can do something for them, see if he can coach, and they'll figure it out at the end of the year because they're going to get a top 3 pick. I'm not sure what the draft class is this year, like if it's what it looks like, but I can't imagine that big of a disparity between the 1, 2, and 3 pick, considering I haven't heard news about it yet.
I don't want to say that the draft is not good, but it's not as deep as the next coming year's draft.
Okay.
I mean, like Shane Wright, the consensus #1 overall pick. You know, like that's almost guaranteed to be where they're going. Or really whoever's going to go first, unless Shane Wright completely plummets. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
Look, never say never. I mean, Montreal is more than likely done with the playoff position for the next 10 seasons.
Quite a while.
But, you know, it's not impossible to say that they'll, similar to the MLB last year, how Baltimore was all but dead, and they decided to run chaos through the AL East for the last 2 weeks of the season by winning 13 of their last 14 and just absolute chaos.
Yeah, seriously.
So I mean, like Montreal could upset quite a few people on the way out.
Absolutely.
But I mean, yeah, going back to the decision to hire St. Louis, that was also kind of, as we spoke about during the week, pretty out of left field, considering neither one of us thought he was interested, let alone in the market.
Yeah,
a head coaching job and a head coaching job in Montreal to begin with. But I mean, from a business standpoint, this could be a win for him too. Seeing as if things don't pan out in Montreal and they don't want to keep him around, you could also, it's for him. It's all right. Well, I got X amount of games to at least build a resume.
Yeah, I mean, and there's another team that can be much better that is going to be looking for a head coach at the end of the year that we'll get to, that if he does well enough could be looked at there.
Yeah, I mean, you could think about some teams that would be looking for a head coach in the future, because this season alone we've had 7 changes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you think about some teams, the better tier teams rather, that could be looking for coaching changes after the season. You almost want to think Toronto every time because, as we said 100%, we've said 100 times in now 5 episodes, a team like Toronto should be nothing less than first place in the league. And they can't make it out of the first round. Nothing seems to work there. It almost seems like he would be one of the first of the better teams to go.
Yeah.
Gerard Gallant's not going anywhere.
Nope.
Brindamore's not going anywhere. Cooper's not going anywhere. Coaching staff in Florida is all due for a massive payday.
Yep.
Maybe some coaching changes in Washington.
Could happen.
It's not impossible. I could see Nashville getting a new coach.
Dallas.
Dallas could use a new everything. St. Louis re-upped Craig Berube the other day for another 3 years. He's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
The Bruins could even be looking at a coach.
Good. Yeah, they absolutely could.
I mean, look, the reality of it is everybody could be looking at a coach. It's who's actually going to do it. I think Anaheim, everybody was just re-upped there. So, you got time. And it's way too early to tell. Because, I mean, like I said, this could be the year of pound on wood, that Toronto actually pulls something out of their backside
Yeah.
and shuts everybody up, because everybody knows usually that a Stanley Cup and a contract extension usually go hand in hand.
Yeah. One usually gets you the other.
Yeah, one usually gets you the other, especially when you're Craig Berube, who pulled that team out, who pulled St. Louis in 2018, 2019 clear out of a dumpster.
Oh, yeah.
And brought them to a championship. And I'm pretty sure they gave him like 3 years the next day.
That sounds right.
So nothing but the best to Marty, but may God have mercy on his soul while he's there.
Have some fun.
Speaking of another one of the head coaching changes in the week, the Oilers finally fired head coach Dave Tippett, promoted Bakersfield Condors head coach Jay Woodcroft to be their head coach in Edmonton. And unlike Marty, he was able to pull a win on his first night, a win that I'm not really okay with talking about. Yeah. I mean, look, Dave Tippett, I don't think it goes as much of a secret, is a very defensive-minded coach.
Yeah.
And obviously the irony in that is that team struggles defensively. You know, as we've said multiple times, Darnell Nurse is not a solution for them. Duncan Keith is obviously not a solution, but I see the understanding of why he was brought there as far as the veteran 3-cup Norris experience. But again, you can't have a team like Edmonton averaging 4 or 5, some nights 6 goals a game and losing games. It's not. Again, it does not go hand in hand. So really, if you want to talk about a necessary coaching change, that was probably one of the most necessary ones coming up.
Absolutely. Edmonton is such a dumpster fire that can win games occasionally, but they're just really annoying of a team.
Like they're a playoff. For some reason, the camera does that from time to time. I'm going to have to edit that out. Where were we?
Edmonton's an annoying team.
Yeah, so apologize for the technical difficulty. Picking up where we left off, yeah, Edmonton is one of those really annoying playoff teams that can, again, light you up 6 goals one night and then get completely blanked the next.
And I do want to point out that even though they beat the Islanders 3-1, they did give up 38 shots to the New York Islanders. That's a problem.
Yeah, considering the Islanders are I'm pretty sure in the bottom 3 of shots per game.
Yeah. They are not a good offensive team. They should not be getting 40 shots on goal.
No, they should not be. But they are, or they did rather.
Yeah.
And look, from a fan's perspective, I like to see that. It's about time they started taking shots. But the Islanders should not be taking 40 shots. Or you should not be letting them get 40 shots.
The Oilers shouldn't be in a position where they're sweating against the Islanders.
Yeah, and I mean, look, don't get me wrong. Mike Smith, I can't believe I'm saying this. Sick game. He played great. But how it's at 39 years old, how long do you think he can keep that up? And that's another thing that hurts this team too. Forget about the defense. It's the lack of really legitimate stable goaltending. And that's gonna hurt them for a while. Let's talk about your friend.
Ugh. Do we have to?
No, we have to. There's no way we're talking about it. So earlier this week, a little face-off between the Penguins and the Bruins in Boston got a little bit chippy. By a little, I mean a lot.
Just a bit.
Clip. Long story short, Brad Marchand has been suspended for 6 games for roughing and high-sticking Penguins goaltender Tristan Jarry. We'll show you the clip break it down, and we'll talk about why it should have been 100 more games.
Back to Pasternak. McAvoy's drive, a save by Jari, and he took a Billy Smith swipe at somebody. Smith, a couple of bids. Marchand bangs away, and Jari makes yet another series of saves, and Marchand is hot.
Well, we showed you that exchange even in between periods between Jari and Marchand. Marchand's going to get an opportunity right here. Jari makes a good stop, able to squeeze it with the left arm. Taylor Hall had an opportunity in there. Marchand comes in with a right punch to the side of the head of Jari. That got reaction from all the Penguins as well as it should. And then Marchand, when he was trying to continue to go after Jari, he reaches up with his stick here, the mask of the Pittsburgh goaltender. With a history like Marchand's, that's not going to help.
So I made sure to show that overhead on purpose. So obviously, inexcusable. You don't punch a goalie in the face and then punch him in the jaw with the heel of your stick. No doubt. In that overhead, though, after the save, it does look like Tristan Jari is drawing at him.
Which is fine.
He said something stupid.
He definitely said something.
Wow, there's no doubt about it. One of the things that also stuck out to me in there was the fact that in that whole scrum, everybody, obviously you see Letang, you see, I think it was Gensel in there, and Dumoulin might have been in there, making a mad dash at Marchand. Crosby was right behind him and didn't do a thing.
Are you shocked?
What's that?
Are you shocked, though? We're talking about Sidney Crosby.
Shocked, but it's also like, it does make you wonder a little bit, did Tristan Jari say something that was almost like you had it coming? Like, I'm not going to really do too much about this one.
I don't know. There's a line like when you touch a goalie, the answer is death. Like,
the answer is typically like you don't get to walk off the ice on your own power.
Yeah, there's a very select few topics that someone can say to someone where I would not defend my goalie, and I really don't think it went there.
So we obviously didn't show it in the video, but at the end of the second period, Tristan Jari was going to flip a puck into the crowd. Marchand came, two-handed the absolute life out of his stick. Puck never made it into the crowd. Marchand did have a comment on it, because he did appeal the suspension. He's not going to sit out through the appeal. I'll read you the quote. Quote, "Was it stupid? Of course it was. I'm not denying that. I absolutely should not have done it. But suspension worthy? I don't think so. These plays were not going to injure Jari. He was very well protected. The fact that it's 6 games is based on history, not on the play. It's a very hefty suspension for these plays, so the only way they can justify that is on the history side of things. They don't measure progress, which I've come to find out, and it goes back to the last one. We believe the last suspension was very hefty. When I got 3 games, it should have been 1 based on the fact that I've turned my game around and become a pretty good player in the league." So he's a pretty good actor, to say the least. Either that or he's got a very good rep or agent who can write words for him. Obviously, it's based on history.
Of course.
Like if that was someone's first offense, like, look, you're skipping the warnings and the fines. You're getting suspended.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 games.
Maybe.
But considering not only was that his 8th suspension, he also became the most suspended player in league history.
I hate this guy. I really hate this guy.
What did you think was going to happen?
This quote, like, his brain is full of sawdust. My favorite part is that he says that no one got hurt. Like, okay, I'm sorry, I didn't know if you drive drunk and don't kill anybody, it's not a crime. He's so dumb. I hate him. So, I might be at the game against Boston on Tuesday. I hope he plays so the Garden can give it to him.
Yeah, I mean, it's again, I'm not saying by any means that Marchand is innocent. He's not. And if they're going to reduce the suspension, which I don't think they should, but history of appeals show that usually they get dropped.
Mm-hmm.
It'll probably end up being 4 or 5 games. 4 or 5.
I was going to say 4, yeah.
Too little, but give or take. I mean, my thing is like, again, it makes me wonder what Jari jawed at him. Because, I mean, if you watch the play again, play was dead, Marchand was skating away. Then he does the little hug the post lean. You see his head going like this, and then Marchand loses it. It makes me wonder what was said.
Yeah, definitely curious.
Well, the fact now is that also when Jari was asked about it, did you see what Jari's comments were? That
No, I didn't.
Blow this thing up.
No.
Tristan Jari said, I don't think he did anything wrong. So either Tristan Jari is putting on the largest tough guy act in the world, saying, oh, who's this guy? He can't hurt me. Or it's, I might have said something I shouldn't have said. Just get the cameras away from me. That's where, I mean, it really makes me wonder what he said.
Yeah, that is weird.
It's mildly sus.
Listen, that's weird because I don't care what the situation is. If someone sucker punches me in the face, I'm going to say he deserves it.
Well, that's my thing too. Is like I am a goalie, so if somebody comes and sucker punches me, I expect you or whoever's in front of me to be nailing their face.
Yes.
Unless I said something stupid, you know what I mean? Like if I said something stupid and then I get thrown around, but that's on me. I don't expect somebody to defend me for doing something stupid.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? This isn't the this isn't the 80s where a goalie can two-hand the player across his leg. And everybody's like, well, you were within 35 feet of his crease. What did you think was going to happen? So it's like I said, that's my big thing right now is I really wonder what was said.
Yeah, I do want to know, but I'm still going to be on the get Marchand off the rink train.
Well, look, I mean, like we said, he's going to get suspended, no doubt.
Yeah.
Like whether it's 4 or 5 or they uphold the 6, and I think they're going to uphold the 6. He's going to sit. But again, how do you say that? Like, I don't get how you also turn around and go, this is they're going based off his. That's what being called a repeat offender is.
Yeah, like that's the point, is to get you to stop.
Yeah, it's like that. And look, don't get me wrong. In a sense of turning his game around, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt there. He doesn't do stupid things as much as he did 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Thank God he got over licking people. Especially, because he was licking people right before the beginning of a pandemic. So that had to stop real quick.
Yeah.
And so, I'll give him the credit there. He's not doing as many dumb things as he was.
Mm-hmm.
But it's almost like he's a pressure cooker that he can keep it in for so long until I guess the small things like that trigger him, like it's bottled for so long.
Yeah. And
then Tristan Jari just leans over and he's like, "You suck," and he's like, "I'll kill you."
He literally.
I mean, it's like that's basically what that's basically the gist of what I got out of the video is that Tristan Jari he was just like, your marinara doesn't cling to your pasta, and Marchand was like, no, we're done now.
Yeah, a little chirping, and he couldn't handle it.
And that's hilarious to me too. That one of the league's most notable chirpers can't take a chirp.
Not surprised.
But we'll follow up on that. I'm sure we'll get some kind of an update for next week's show for that one. Yeah. One of the bigger updates going through the NHL right now. We'll spend a little bit of time on this because you know how much we love to play with Cap Friendly, not sponsored by Cap Friendly.
Not sponsored, sponsor us.
So Jack Eichel, as of earlier this week, has been in a full contact jersey at his practices.
Oh, baby.
And now, the rumor running around, he could play as early as Wednesday versus Colorado. There are some factors in that, however.
Mm-hmm.
The major factor being, how are they going to get him in the lineup as far as cap goes? So let's pull up our friends at Cap Friendly, not a sponsor of Cap Friendly. So we look at the top. At the current moment, they're sitting at just about $91.5 million at the cap hit. They need to clear, I think the number was roughly 5.5.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing that Eichel is making 10, and you got to clear about a little bit less or more than half of it. The first thing I think everybody's brain goes to is the trade. Who are they trading? Who's being bought out? You know, I think the short answer there is no one.
I agree.
Because the people that you'd have to buy out to get it done are, I guess you would call them key pieces. Like, you're not buying out Mark Stone, you're not buying out Pacioretty, because Pacioretty has fallen in great graces on that team.
Yep.
You're not buying out William Karlsson. You're not buying out Jonathan Marsh. So Riley Smith, however, could answer a lot of questions on a trade.
Yes,
because he's making that even $5 million. He's a UFA next season.
Mm-hmm.
Someone's going to want him for a playoff push. I know where obviously Vegas is going to be in the playoffs, but I think if it was me, I'd rather have Jack Eichel than Riley Smith on my playoff list. So you possibly trade him. After that, if you need to clear a little bit of extra money, I mean, you could send one of these lower contracts down. You could send down Amadio. You could send down Brett Howden. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, look how many centers they have in their primary centers they have on their roster.
They have one,
5.
2, 3, 4. They have 6 primary centers.
6 primary. Yeah, 6 primaries. 6
primary centers, 2 secondary centers. Eichel is Eichel and Brooks Adam are the only 2 centers really sitting out at the moment, or Adam Brooks rather. Ooh. That's what happens when you try to read fast. So, and this is something I was talking to one of my buddies about during the week, is Riley Smith seems like the most tangible option for them. Just based off the fact he's going to be a UFA this year, he's either going to stay or go. And seeing that they're already in a cap nightmare, it seems as if he's going to end up having to go no matter what.
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
If you want to go the buyout route, I mean, if you really want to help a team out and you're really feeling nice, you could buy out Riley Smith, eat the $8 in cap hit. You know what I mean? But,
yeah,
as we probably know, buyouts don't particularly look fun on a player's resume when it comes down to it.
Not at all.
Even if it's Riley Smith, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Who, whether he stays or goes, is gonna. I don't want to say he's gonna command more than 5. Like, I could see someone paying him 6, 5.5. I was projecting his contract for him at about the 6-year, $36 million range, 6 per, which is, I think, fair for him. The reality of it is Vegas is not going to be the team to give it to him.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, like I said, trade is probably the thing that they need the most.
I mean, that's going to be the simplest and easiest stuff here.
Not to mention, once they figure out the Jack Eichel problem and they clear up that $5 or $5.5 million, they have to figure out a way to get Alec Martinez back on their roster.
Yeah.
So one of the big things I saw during the week, I'm sure you might have scrolled around it. Would they do I guess it's called the Tampa, calls it now, and just sit Eichel until the playoffs. And at this point, I'm all for it if it means if it forces the league to change that rule.
Yeah.
I'm
Yes.
all for it. You know,
Yes.
at this point, it's like at the same time, everybody who, myself included, was on the 18 million over the cap train for the Tampa last year.
Mm-hmm.
If they do that, everybody better keep the same damn energy when Vegas does it.
I agree.
You know, like make sure you keep the same energy
Mm-hmm.
because you basically make your argument null and void if it's okay for these guys to do it, but Tampa can't.
Yeah,
And
it just makes it all.
the only reason I'm saying I'm okay with these guys doing it is based off the fact of if it's, like I said, if it's one way to get them to change this rule, then it can do it.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to have to continue to exploit it to get it to change, then go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, and, actually, it's fun if you look at I know this has nothing to do with it, but looking at their roster, it's amazing how many people are not here from the expansion draft anymore.
Yeah, right?
They got 4.
That's genuinely crazy.
And it's 4 pretty important players, too.
Yeah.
I'm leaning towards Riley Smith. And should he be traded, where do you think he goes?
No idea.
I have somewhat of an idea.
Yeah?
I do. Let me go find them. There they are.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it does work.
So my thing with this trade, particularly, is obviously the first thing that comes to mind is the cap space. They've got it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They can do it, and they still have plenty of space available afterward.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at the Red Wing roster, I think Riley Smith, although he's not a grizzled vet by any means, those deep playoff runs and experiences is something that I think would benefit a Detroit Red Wing locker room right now.
Oh, yeah.
Because when you look at their roster right now, Larkin, Bertuzzi, Suter, Fabry, when Nick Leddy and Mark Stahl are the only 2 people here that have either deep playoff run success or Stanley Cup success,
Mm-hmm.
it's not saying much.
No, they need another piece.
Riley Smith has had multiple deep playoff runs in Vegas. He had a cup final run with the first-year Vegas team. He had a couple of those playoff runs when he was still in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, he's been there multiple times. Of the roster you see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these people have been to the playoffs.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So, like, the way I see it on paper, should this team make the playoffs today, they are getting washed in the first round.
Oh,
and
yeah.
They're bad teams because no one here is capable of playing playoff hockey.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like for the future, I feel like Riley Smith could be a pretty important piece for them, especially when you see that Riley Smith is capable of playing on both sides of the wing.
Yes.
There's his roster spot right there.
Literally. You can get rid of him real quick.
Nemestikov is a free agent after the year.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to need to fill that void. You pay a couple extra dollars and you get a significant upgrade. And I'm not saying Nemestikov is not a good player. He's average, but he's just not what everybody, I think, thought he was going to be at one point.
Yeah.
Because I know you guys had your hands on him. Tampa had him at one point. I think he was in Montreal for a little while, too.
He might have been, but yeah, everyone thought he was going to be way better than what he is.
Yeah, I mean, Tampa, the Rangers. Actually, no, he was with you guys until 2 years ago. So he was out of the league for 2 years.
No, he wasn't rostered last year?
It says that the last contract he had ended in 2020. So this contract right here was the first COVID lockout season before the bubble.
Oh, true. Yeah, you're right.
Let's take a look. Oh, here we go.
I could have sworn he was rostered.
Yeah, traded to Ottawa. You guys, you sent him to Ottawa in the Zibanejad trade, I think. No.
No.
I was going to say, no, that was years ago.
Yeah.
Then they dealt him to Colorado. Forgot he was on Colorado, actually.
Yes, that's the team I was thinking of. And then to Detroit.
What did you deal him? Oh, now I'm curious. Hold on.
Down a rabbit hole.
Yep, no, we're going.
We're jumping in.
We're going in the rabbit hole.
Nick Ebert and a 2021 4th-round pick was the Rangers' return for him.
Was that it? Really?
Yep. I mean, he really was not good with us at all.
There you go. Yeah.
He was really not great.
I mean, that's what I mean when I said he was an average player.
Yeah.
Like average player. Nothing. Like I said, I want to say nothing special because at one point everybody thought he was going to be the next big thing.
Crazy, yeah.
Like because he had a fairly good season. Like I think his first or second year.
He did. And then, I mean, look at the years he had with us. I mean, he had 78 games played, 31 points.
Which, I mean...
All things considered, but that was also... It's not like he was a rookie. That was his...
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Like
9th year in the season, in the show.
All things considered, it wasn't terrible. Do they show his stats here? They do. Yeah, I mean, 13 goals in over 90 games played... I mean, 229 points in 526 games is like a respectable bottom six forward.
Yeah.
So that's, I guess that's what he's really turned into at this point. But I mean, this is where his peak was.
That's what got, yes, exactly.
This is what got everybody's attention. I mean, he had great AHL years, 48 points in 56 games, 35 points in 34 games, but it was just never panning out. I mean, really, if you look at his numbers through his career, he wasn't ever particularly fantastic. He had a mid-season in London, but I mean, we're going off tangent, which we love to do. We got to stick with this. Yeah, like I said, Riley Smith seems to be the move. I mean, if you really want to stretch, you could trade Dadonov. Like it's not impossible there.
You can, yeah.
I mean, because he's the same exact hit for another year. That trade could be a little bit more beneficial in the sense of what's the word I'm looking for? Return.
Yep.
You might get a little bit more out of him. With a modified no trade clause, he does get to submit a 10-team no trade list.
Mm-hmm.
So you can automatically slap Montreal and Arizona on there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look, pretty much if you're not a contender, you're not going to be on that list.
Yeah.
And at 32, his options are pretty limited. Unless I don't know. I like I said, I'm leaning with Smith. I could see that Dadonov's trade coming through. I don't know. But one thing right now is Mark Stone is actually injured.
Yes.
And I don't think it's been disclosed how long he's going to be out yet.
No.
So if he's going to go long term, there's your temporary answer.
There you go. Yeah, it's a Band-Aid.
The problem is, though, is that if you're in a position where he's going to be out 6 to 8 weeks, and that still doesn't put you to the end of the season.
Yeah,
miss the trade deadline, you'd have to make an emergency move to get him back on the roster before the playoffs.
This is true.
So
it's going to be a mess for later.
It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Thank you to our friends over at Cap Friendly, not sponsored by Cap Friendly, but you should sponsor us. A lot of front office moves in the league this week. Obviously, we have a lot of St. Louis becoming the interim head coach of the Canadiens, Jay Woodcroft becoming the new head coach of the Oilers. The Blackhawks are still on their GM quote-unquote vacancy hiring mission. They did interview Scott Mellenby this week for their GM position. He's got a pretty decent history in the league.
Yep.
He was a 21-year vet as a player. He served as a consultant for Vancouver from 2007 to 2010, an assistant in St. Louis from 2010 to 2012, and the assistant GM for Montreal from 2014 to 2021, as well as being the director of player personnel for Montreal from 2012 to 2014. So it's obvious the guy can keep a job.
Oh, yeah.
He knows what he's doing. To me personally, odds-on favorite for the job. I think it would be crazy to say otherwise.
Yeah.
Speaking, I didn't even want to bring that up. You want to talk about their owner? You know what? I'll give you your time. Have fun.
It's not that long. It's just what a lack of PR skills.
Yeah, I mean, it's old news at this point. We know that, but how do you obviously everything happened within the Blackhawks organization. We won't dip into it too much, but to sit there and pretend like no one's going to ask you that question anymore just because you cleaned house is insane.
Stupid.
And the fact that really he got no discipline for that from the NHL is a little bit bizarre.
Yep.
And it does sting a little bit, only because on a technicality of I am one of the few people who actually likes Gary Bettman. Yeah, I know. You can give me that look. It's okay.
Sure, whatever.
I mean, I like him as far as the growth of the game.
I can give you that, yeah.
He has brought the game much farther.
He's done a lot.
Yeah, done with the Winter Classics, the Stadium Series, the Heritage Series, the now returning Global Series.
Mm-hmm.
And so to me, he has the growth of the game. He's done almost everything right.
Fair enough.
As far as disciplinary action, handling certain situations, it's kind of like talking to a toddler with a box of broken crayons.
It's oddly accurate.
You know what I mean? It's you can't suspend the owners. He should have been fined, even if it was just $25,000. Because I do understand that as far as the Blackhawks ownership is concerned, that was their first outbreak or offense as such, as far as the PR side of things goes.
Yes, yeah.
God only knows what's going to happen to them for everything that's been going on.
Yeah.
So I would understand a small $25,000 fee, which when you're an owner is basically here's a quarter.
Literally.
You know what I mean? But it's to let him say not even what he said, just how he basically belittled and berated that reporter is not okay. And I give Bettman a lot of credit for making the phone call at least and being hey, maybe don't do that next time.
Even him, his son, I'm pretty sure that was his son who was part of the ownership group, tried to take over and answer the question nicely, and he just was no, don't answer it. Stop.
Yeah. Well, so yeah, that was the whole story. His son was trying to get in and just be we're not fielding questions about Kyle Beach at this time.
Mm-hmm.
Which is the right answer.
The correct way to answer the question, yes.
So, from the outside looking in, if that was me and, you say you're not fielding questions on the matter at this time, and then he asks again, we're not fielding questions on the matter. And if he keeps going, because there's cameras around, in my opinion, now you have a case to lay into this guy.
You're a little more justified to be.
Yeah, we have told you 5 times we're not answering this right now. But to fly off the handle like that, again, and especially just pretend like you're not expecting those questions to be asked anymore. Look, I'm glad that they're doing the right thing as far as getting rid of the people who need to be gotten rid of. you can't sit here and pretend like those questions aren't going to come around anymore. Like, and if that's you're borderline insane.
That's the only reason anyone's even spoken about the Blackhawks. Like, there's no other reason to talk about the Blackhawks.
No, there's really not.
So he's got to be ready for
that. Moving forward, a couple of other roster moves this week. Flyers center Sean Couturier, he's going to be out for the season following some back surgery. 17 points in 29 games, which is a very Sean Couturier-ish season. Not in a bad way, just he's usually a pretty consistent player.
Yep.
Probably him sitting for the rest of the season is a smart move, seeing that Philadelphia is not going to make a push at any point. So, I mean, look, the Islanders and the Devils have jumped them in the standings. As far as Metro is concerned, they are not. They are screwed for nicer terms.
Yes.
So even if he was going to be ready this season, it's probably better to have him pack it up.
Just to,
Yeah.
Don't make it worse.
Debate time.
Yay.
We might have some fun with this one. Bruins goaltender Tuukka Rask retires from the NHL after 15 seasons, all of them with Boston. He retires with 564 games played, a record of 308, 165, and 66, 52 shutouts, 2.28 goals against, a 921 save percentage, a 2011 Stanley Cup as the backup. I cannot stress that enough. A 2014 Vezina Trophy, a two-time All-Star, and he was one half of the goalie tandem to win the 2020 Jennings with former Bruins goaltender Yaroslav Halak. So obviously, when a player of great stature retires, the first question is usually Hall of Fame.
No.
No.
No
shot. Like I said, I can't stress the backup portion of the Stanley Cup as much as, because I think he played in the entire playoffs that year. I think he played 25 minutes. 2014 was obviously a great year for him. He won the Vezina. 15 seasons, 2 All-Stars. I mean, look, I know the All-Star game doesn't really count for much, but it's still something that is legitimately considered on the Players Hall of Fame resume.
It is. And I think what's more is that there's a good cluster of seasons in there. He didn't even receive Vezina votes. Yeah.
Like, well, forget about the Vezina finalists. He didn't, like you said, he didn't even get the vote. The Jennings, I hate to say that, but that was pretty much all on Halak. Because Tuukka Rask was dealing with some injury that year. Nothing significant, nothing more than a week or two at a time, but Halak had to carry a lot of weight and then continued to carry the weight after the bubble when Tuukka Rask left, I think 3 or 4 days in.
That sounds right, yeah.
So, it's hard to say. I mean, look, if they ever construct the Hall of Very Good,
there you go.
First ballot.
That's perfect.
First ballot. I can't really, like a 308, 165, and 66 record is great. It is a great record. You would kind of think with that kind of a record and based off of his season individual records that he would have received at least more hardware consideration, maybe some deeper playoff runs.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, the reality of it is, and I'm sure I'm going to upset some people, he's a playoff choke artist. He choked in 2013.
Yep.
2 goals, 17 seconds, handed Chicago a Stanley Cup.
Quite literally.
And 2019 handed the Blues a Game 7 victory in Boston. Again, there's a theme with him losing in Boston.
It really is.
I mean, don't get me wrong. St. Louis is a circumstance of getting hot at the right time. That doesn't necessarily mean they were the better team, but we've seen it all the time where when a team gets hot at the right time, it's hard to derail it.
Yeah.
I mean, like, perfect example, we see it all the time with the Capitals, the Rangers. They get hot in those first 2-3 months of the season. They sit atop, and then
Their
everybody
goals
again.
downhill. Yeah.
And it's happened to it happened to the Islanders in 2014-15. That the last season of the Coliseum, that miracle
Mhm.
run. I know some people like to call it. They sat in first place from December to the end of the season, never looked back, and then to finish out the regular season, the last game of the year versus Columbus in the Coliseum, all they had to do was win, and they lost in the shootout and dropped to the wild card in one day. So it's like, if you can't carry that momentum, you're kind of screwed.
There's no point. Yeah.
But again, momentum doesn't necessarily mean you're the better team. In the case of St. Louis, Tuukka Rask should have really won that series in 5 games. I'll give them the benefit of maybe 6. I'll give St. Louis the extra win, but I just don't. I can't justify putting him in the Hall of Fame.
No, no. He doesn't. Like, at no point do I think the Bruins needed him, too. I put that factor into it, too. Like, the Bruins are a powerhouse of a team. He never carried them.
Right. So I think also if you look at what's gone through Boston, obviously they had powerhouse defenses in front of them, a 5-goal-a-game offense in front of them.
Mm-hmm.
He was never really given another goalie either.
Yeah.
I feel like he kind of fell. I don't want to call it, I don't want to call it anything bad, but it almost seems like it was a couple of years ago with the Capitals, like Braden Holtby's disease, where he was playing 75 games a season.
This is true.
You know what I mean? It's like, because that was the thing, is Braden Holtby would play 75 games a season, win 40 games, first seed in the playoffs, out by the second round. Because the guy's just done at that point.
Yeah, you've played so much hockey.
I mean, Tuukka Rask has been given Malcolm Subban, Jeremy Swayman, who, looking back on it now, who seems like he's the new number 1 unless Boston decides they want to go another route.
Have a shutout today / yesterday for you guys.
Yeah. Yarrow Halak, which is a decent 1-2.
Yeah.
It's good enough to win at Jennings. I couldn't even tell you who the rest of the goalies are, and that just shows you how irrelevant they were.
No, he's been the only one that matters.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. Like, he never had anything else to fall back on, and he took a lot of the weight in a season.
Mm-hmm.
I remember plenty of seasons where he was playing like 60-something games.
He did a couple times.
I mean, there are other things I could see. Like, I could definitely see his number retired.
But yeah, I could definitely see that.
Yeah, I could definitely see it for the Bruins. But let's see. Okay. So from 2013-14 until 2019-20, right? 58, 70, 64, 65, 54, 46, and 41 games played.
Every game.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
70 games, basically your backup played 12. And assuming your backup got absolutely roofed one of those games, he had to go in and play 72 games.
Yep.
So it's like, and oddly enough, 2013-14. 2012-2013, 36 games, 19-10-5. That was the year they lost in the Cup Finals. 18-19, 46 games played, 27-13-5, lost in the Cup Finals.
Mm-hmm.
No, but think about what I just said, right? 46 games played and 36 games played. 58 games played, missed. 70 games missed. 64 missed. 65 missed. If you had to fall back on him too much, you were done.
It would not end well.
Yeah, I mean, then don't get me wrong. He's got plenty of Bruins awards. He's got like 7 or 8 Bruin 3-star awards, of which I don't even know what that is.
Couldn't tell you.
Let me see. Let's look it up. So let's see. Team trophies. No, I don't want. I want to see what a 3-star trophy is. Damn it! I have a feeling I know what it is.
Good luck.
Oh, okay. No, it's actually not what I thought it was. The Bruins 3-star awards are annual awards given to the top 3 performers at home during the regular season.
What an oddly specific award.
Yeah. So, like, let's see. The first time he won it with Tuukka Rask, Krejci, and Bergeron. Solid 3 stars. When you think about the year before was Tim Thomas, Zdeno Chara, and Marco Sturm.
Oh my God.
Tuukka Rask, Bergeron, Sagan. Tuukka Rask, Krejci, Bergeron. Okay, it's a team award. Like, I don't.
Yeah, whatever.
Like when the Hall of Fame comes around, nobody cares about team awards.
No, not at all.
Yeah, so I think the easy vote for me is no.
Yep, totally agree.
Bruins Hall of Fame, yes.
Sure, yep.
Number retired, your business.
Up to you.
Yeah, that's your business. I'm sure they'll do it just based off of his team accomplishments. I don't think they're going to do it anytime soon.
No.
But actually, also, when you think about his jersey retirement in Boston, he's also, the last 2 or 3 years with him have been pretty unceremonious. So that might have tampered that, but we'll see. But like I said, that's Boston's decision, not ours.
Correct.
So we usually like to give Arizona a hard time.
Yes, I cannot. I am so excited to talk about this.
And I was thinking this week we don't go hard on them. We absolutely light them on fire. The Arizona Coyotes and Arizona State have reached an agreement for the Coyotes to play home games at the new Sun Devil Arena for the next 3 years. Now, this arena only seats 5,000 people, making it one of the league's smallest buildings in history. It also means that the Coyotes will still only fill 10% of the building. You said you couldn't wait to talk about it, so go ahead.
Okay, so I kind of love this.
Okay.
Because everyone knows
sell out now, or
everyone knows ASU's reputation. So these games, this might be the loudest home arena in the league.
Okay.
Because I think it's going to be a bunch of college kids who are just hammered and supporting their Coyotes. I kind of love it.
Okay.
We'll see in 3 years what they have to do after, because it's not. I don't know where they're going to get relocated after these 3 years. They can't. No city's going to want them in Arizona. They're not going to find a place to play, and the league's only going to allow this for so long. But it's going to be a fun 3 years.
So obviously we know that they're trying to have a new arena built in Arizona. They don't want to leave. They do want to stay. I'm not saying I don't see that happening, but when you look at their timeline to be in Arizona State of 3 years, that is the average time to construct an arena from ground up.
Yeah.
So unless they plan on starting that arena about a month ago, they got a chance.
They're pretty pressed for time.
You're saying though, I think this is a very good thing for the league. You can expose a whole bunch of new fans to the game.
Mm-hmm.
And you know that they're going to do it. You're in a college. There's no way you're not going to do the student ticket prices.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you can kiss season tickets goodbye. Nobody's giving money for this anymore. But I also don't even know what the arena looks like.
I saw a photo of it. It's pretty generic.
Very, very curious.
Kind of looks like Twin Ranks, but a little bigger.
Wait, are you serious?
The inside, kind of, but with more seating.
So where's the new ASU hockey arena?
Sun Devil Arena, man.
Sun Devil Arena.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure that's what it was. I saw a picture on Twitter, but believe everything you see on Twitter.
I'm looking at it right now. I think I'm looking at it right now. This can't be it. This can't be it. This is way too nice. I mean, I'll show you the picture of it. I'll share my screen, but there's no way this is it. This is way too nice to be a college. Is this it?
Okay, it might be, because if I'm trying to think, if you take away that bottom section, that might be it.
Right here?
Yeah. Because as of right now, that's more than 5,000 seats, but this is for a concert.
Well, this looks like
that might be.
This looks like in the picture, it looks like this is like a graduation.
Yeah. That I think that is it.
But, obviously I'm assuming the seating setup right now is what they would be doing for basketball, concert.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Well, what do you know? You switch from Bing to Google and something comes right up. Yeah, that's 100% it.
This is it? I mean...
Yeah. Let's not forget what the purpose is here. A god-awful hockey team is going to go play in it, and a bunch of college kids are going to chug beers throughout the arena. That's what's going to happen for the next 3 years.
Yeah, this is it. Okay.
And this might be one of the most intimidating places to go play in now for away teams, because college kids are going to throw beers at them.
Oh dear. We don't like video.
Aggressive.
Bad computer.
Bad computer.
Give me a warning next time.
Yeah.
Okay. So now I can see it with the seats like up.
Yeah. That's it.
There's no way this is it.
That looks like all the pictures I'm seeing.
Yeah, but the thing is like just looking at okay, so if you look right behind where it says 2016 right here, see this piece of the wall right here?
Oh yeah.
It doesn't move. And there's no way from here to here is 200.
I don't know. I'm never going to be able to find that picture ever again.
Let's just look at it. Oh, here it is.
Yeah, I know it's like brand spanking new.
Okay, so this is the arena we're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe we're playing in Oh, that's why we can't find pictures of it. It's not done yet.
That was a concept I found.
Okay, so here we go. So concept art, we can look at that.
That's the okay. It was that, but with empty seats.
Oh my God, why are you so big? Okay, I don't hate it.
I kind of want to go.
Here we go. Here's okay. This is what I wanted. Okay, yeah, it's not as nice as I thought it was.
I kind of want to go though.
I kind of do too, but I can't. I don't know, man. Let's try this one here. I mean, the outside looks great.
Yeah, of course.
The outside always has to look good.
Mm-hmm. Can you imagine, going to that school going to a college that a professional hockey team plays for?
Okay. So we have their actual website.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, yeah, the area looks nothing like that.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so we've seen that. What the hell is going on in that picture? Big darts? Oh, it's wrestling.
It's pretty much like the third progression in your stadium when you play EA Sports Hockey League.
What is this now? Ping pong?
Could it be?
Oh, no, that's gymnastics.
Who knows, dude?
Oh, look at that. It says it right here. Gymnastics.
Oh my god.
Oops. Okay, so for concerts, this place looks like it could be pretty dope.
Yeah, I can see Slipknot playing there.
Now I need to go. I mean, this little hangout area looks good, but it's also not, the carpet's like not covered in college vomit yet.
Yeah, yet. Soon to come.
There's boxes here? If we go, we're getting a box.
I'm going to Tempe, I guess.
Okay, but why is this place actually... Okay, here we go. This is what I like. So basically having a box is like having glass seats.
Pretty much.
I mean, it's a college. There's no bad seat here.
Yeah, and I mean, like, center ice tickets here are probably going to cost as much as nosebleeds at the Garden, so I'm in.
Yeah, I mean, if I was a Coyotes fan, I would probably be all over this. You know, and look, I mean,
especially if you live near Tempe.
Yeah. But it's also like that team has to be getting ready to take a financial slam.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I can't even imagine what this is. Unless Arizona State's paying them a ton of money.
Well, forget about that. I mean, let's think about it this way, right?
This place is a disaster.
So you think about this arena, obviously not in the specifics of it, just the arena itself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if I can find a better picture of the seats. Okay. So even for a very bad hockey team, you have to think corporate-wise, general fans, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Of all of these seats, at least 3,000 of them are season tickets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm going to say most of it's probably corporate.
Yeah. That would make sense.
If you're a corporate, you know, if you're a corporation that has season tickets to an Arizona game, that I'll be honest with you, that's a hell of a way to fire somebody. This is that 60% of this arena would be their season tickets. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Like I don't see how logistically like they're going to be able to do season tickets. They would do like it's going to be 3 nights of no promotions, no jersey retirements, no ceremonies. They are not getting an all-star game or a draft, obviously.
Can you imagine?
That option to save them is out the window. I could tell you this. An all-star game in this building with a bunch of college kids would be absolutely nuts.
Dude, Trevor Zegras would feel right at home.
Yeah. Zegras, Barzal, Lucas Raymond, Mo Sider.
Like nothing changed.
Yeah, those kids would be like, "This is awesome."
Yeah.
It's but I mean, you know, unless you're the Islanders, you know, Barry Trotz, Lou Lamoriello would hate it. They don't like fun.
Of course.
You know what I'm curious about? Whose logo are they playing on?
Oh, facts, dude.
Because I can tell you that that's not an easy thing to do, is changing the logo.
You would know.
So I would love to see whose logo they're going to play on. I'm going to think that the NHL is going to step in on that and be like, you're using our logo.
I would have to agree.
I would have to assume. Because there's no way they're going to let the Coyotes play on an NCAA logo.
Oh, wait.
And look, I hope I kind of, in a way, hope I'm wrong. Because, like, I don't know. I feel like that would be sick. Like, watching, like, the Coyotes and Colorado with the Sun Devils logo on the ice.
Oh, my God.
But, I mean, logistically, too. Think about, like, where are you putting a camera in this place?
That's what I was thinking of, camera angles. They're going to need, like, half zoom, wide angle.
Camera angles. Like, the scoreboard is always going to be in the camera.
Yep.
yeah, I mean, whenever you want to go, let me know. But
I'm in, man.
I'm in, but like,
Hmm.
yeah, I don't know.
I wonder if they'll have a $1 beer night.
Probably.
Hate to be the away team at that game.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, look, it's a good move for Arizona as far as helping them get their arena. Like, but this is like, in my opinion, this is like their last chance.
Yeah.
Like, if they can't get an arena after this, they're not going to be staying.
It's almost like we should have relocated the Coyotes and not the Thrashers.
We should relocate them to Atlanta.
I would be so happy if the Thrashers came back. I have a Thrashers jersey.
You want to talk about jerseys?
No, I don't want to talk about the Motorists.
The Motorists. Not too much else going on in the league this week. There's a milestone watch going on with obviously Sidney Crosby, a milestone watch that everybody in the world except you and I care about.
Actually, I've been betting on him to score every night, and he's taking way too long.
Obviously he's sitting on goal number 499. He's going to be looking to hit that 500 tomorrow at 1:30 in New Jersey. If you want to buy a ticket for $6,
Because everybody wants to go to a hockey game tomorrow. Well, today, technically.
Yeah.
All days.
I mean, there's nothing else on tomorrow. So
There's nothing on.
tomorrow being Sunday, the day we're live. So there's nothing on today. As soon as we're done,
No, nothing. No, nothing.
I mean, I can't think of anything else that's important being on TV. So
No, not at all.
We're dumb. The Olympics are on tomorrow.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, no, you don't have a prayer of me going to Jersey on Super Bowl Sunday.
No, Joey Burt.
Early free agents knocked off the board for the free agency show we're going to do this summer. Robert Bortuzzo signed a 2-year, $1.9 million contract extension to stay in St. Louis. He could have become a unrestricted free agent in July. And Patrick Maroon has signed a 2-year, $2 million contract extension to stay with Tampa Bay. He also could have been an unrestricted free agent at the end of the season. If you're a NHL fan, that is a terrifying contract, seeing he is 3 for 3 in the last 3 years with Stanley Cups.
If they win again, this guy is doing something. I call shenanigans.
He's got Michael's secret stuff.
Literally.
Not too much going on with the local teams this week. Obviously, you guys, like we said, are on a extended hiatus until Tuesday. You come back Thursday, you said?
Yep.
Just a little bit of mild news from you guys. Rangers forward Capo Caco is out, quote, at least another month.
Sad.
Upper body injury.
Big sad.
Do you think that's going to, as I pick up my papers, do you think that's going to force a hand in a trade, or are you just going to ride it out?
Probably just ride it out. As much as I want a trade to get done, probably just ride it out. We haven't had him for a couple games now, and we've been winning.
Right. I mean, it's
except our right wing depth is terrible.
Right. I think you ride it out too. I think it's one of those if it ain't broke, don't fix it type deals.
Exactly. We beat Florida, so
exactly. A couple of other front office moves. The Flyers have hired Daniel Briere as special assistant to general manager Chuck Fletcher. Scott Niedermayer named the special advisor to hockey operations in Anaheim. And the Devils, who we usually don't talk about too much, but seeing that we have some time with the Rangers not having much going on, we'll give them 5 minutes of love.
Yeah, I guess.
So the Devils were pretty open with their trade deadline plans this year, which is not something you see all the time. Teams usually are pretty tight-lipped about that stuff.
Yep.
I'll read you the quote. Quote, "We want to improve. You can never have enough good players at every position. We have a few unrestricted free agents, including Jimmy and PK, being Jimmy VC and PK Subban. Probably didn't have to tell you that. I haven't spoken with their agents. We're still over a month away. The goal was to approach the trade deadline while fighting for a Stanley Cup playoff spot. Is there a hockey trade you could make to not only help your team immediately, but your future? Somebody in the age demographic of where we're at with the core of our team, is there a hockey trade that makes sense for us more long-term? but can help jumpstart us now. We're not settled on we're too good up the middle, or we've got some quality wingers, or we've got some defensemen coming. There's always room to improve. Pretty diplomatic answer.
That was a nothing burger of a statement.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty diplomatic, not pretty straightforward. No ifs, ands, and buts really around it. Almost tells me that Jimmy VC, PK Subban will not be coming back.
Yeah, I would. It'd be dumb not to trade him, honestly.
Who's that? Subban or VC?
Yes.
Okay. Subban is going to be obviously a little bit more difficult to move with that $85 million a season cap, especially for below average defense. I don't. It's weird because the Devils clearly. I don't want to say clearly, but they're not going to be one of those teams that's in a serious playoff hunt this year.
Yeah,
I mean, look, things can happen. It's not impossible. Taking a look at their cap friendly, not sponsored by cap friendly. They have a decent amount of people coming off the books this year.
Yep.
Jimmy VC being one at $800,000, $800K isn't really killing them. A bunch of RFAs, Jesper Bratt, Pavel Zacha, they can both go to arbitration. Jesper Boquist, he's going to be a restricted free agent. PK Subban comes off at his $9 million per cap hit. Christian Jaros, Colton White both come off and can go to arbitration. Mason Geertsen, he'll be a UFA at the end of the season. John Gillies, he'll be a UFA at the end of the season, and I'm pretty sure John Gillies has one win all season. He won't be coming back anytime soon. Mm-hmm. There's a lot to consider if you're a Devils fan right now. Looking at their IR, they have probably one of the more stacked IRs in the league right now.
Yes.
Just based off of how critical they are to their teams. Both of their goaltenders, Dougie Hamilton, who just signed that crisp $9 million a year contract in the offseason, Miles Wood, who's not necessarily a tremendous hit for them, but he is an on-ice leader for them.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't want to see that either. Playing with a fake $7 million in cap. I say that because of all the players out.
Mm-hmm.
Dougie Hamilton comes back, they're going to go $2 million over.
Yep.
There's some things you consider. Obviously, guys like Mason Geertsen, Colton White, Christian Jaros can probably take a seat as soon as he's back. But I don't think Dougie Hamilton is coming back this season.
I haven't really heard much about him, so I would agree.
The last I've heard, he was out for the year.
I don't know if I heard that, but I could be wrong.
So January 4th was the last report. He had a broken jaw and had surgery.
Well, actually, there's something 5 hours ago. Dougie Hamilton returned to practice.
Okay, so he could be back any day now.
Yeah.
Bernier has been ruled out for the season.
Yep.
Mackenzie Blackwood, I don't know what his situation is at the moment because I know they said he was going to be out for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Take a look. So it's a heel injury from about 2 weeks ago, right before the All-Star break. Being that it's a heel injury, I would almost rule him out for the season too. Obviously, Jack Hughes not on the roster at the moment. He's in COVID protocol.
Yep.
Obviously, you want to trade Subban out if you can this year. Start clearing the cap. I don't think they're going to be able to trade him.
I don't think so either. I mean, imagine paying $9 million for PK Subban.
Yeah, paying $9 million for average defense.
And
It sounds like a Seth Jones contract.
yeah, that's going to be really tough for them because they can do so much with that money, but no one is going to want him unless they ship him to Arizona.
It's funny because it's like it seems like it's going to be tough, but I don't think it's going to be that tough. Because if the win-loss there is like, yeah, you're eating $9 million right now, but that $9 million disappears in 5 months.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Can I do this? Can I look at their cap season by season? Like, do I have to look at just this year? Can I skip to the next year?
I don't know.
I don't like this website anymore. Don't sponsor it. Let's see. Oh, here we go. So right now they're sitting at just about 7.2 million in cap space. As of free agency day, with all the contracts coming off, they're going to have 23 million in cap to work with.
That's nuts.
And that's including everybody coming off. And that includes the Jack Hughes payday.
Mm-hmm.
That includes, anybody else who's supposed to get a pay raise this year. I think he's actually the only one. But that's also still accounting for all of this garbage.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that money's going to be super helpful. The free agents this coming year are pretty stacked. I mean, there's a lot they could do.
Yeah, there's plenty they can do here. Like I said, if I'm the Devils, I probably wouldn't go too crazy. Because, I mean, there was that one trade deadline a couple of years ago. What was it? They were in, second to last place and had no shot of making the playoffs, and they went out and grabbed, Marcus Johansson.
Oh, yeah.
When everybody looked at them, they were kind of like, "What are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
You have no business making a trade right now." It'll be interesting to see what they do, though. As much as we love to beat them up, because the Devils are a team that usually seems like they have all of their pieces in place as far as going and getting good players, getting some talent, getting names, and then still manage to suck. But no, seriously though, because
no, you're not wrong.
What was it? A couple of years ago, they had Subban. Damon Severson was still not. He was getting to where he is now.
Yep.
They had just drafted Nico Hischier. The Devils looked like
they were on the up and up. Yeah.
They looked like a team that could be violent for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, oh yeah, we're going to be violent at the draft lottery. Take that, and then they get the 8th pick.
Literally.
Moving on, because that's really it for the league. As we said, not too much going on in Rangerland this week.
Nope.
In Islanderland,
stuff.
There is stuff. Some good stuff, some bad stuff. Obviously, the Islanders are one of the few teams that is playing almost every other day through the Olympic break, quote unquote Olympic break. They have now had 3 separate COVID pauses this season, which is absurd.
Insane.
It's ridiculous. They kicked off the week coming back from a almost full week break with Vancouver, and there was some questionable, as we spoke, lineup decisions. I still have the picture. I would gladly love to share with you. I sent it to you and told you that I was currently in the process of ripping the stubs out of my head. Let's see. So the lineup the Islanders went into that game with. Line 1, Lee, Barzal, Clutterbuck. So we're off to a great start. Ross Johnston, Brock Nelson, and Josh Bailey on line 2. Parise, Pajot, Wallstrom on line 3, which has been pretty much the consistent third line all season.
Mm-hmm.
Martin, Cizikas, and Anthony Beauvillier on line 4. Not too many changes on defense, though. Chara Dobson was the first pairing, which is alarming in itself. Pellick, Mayfield, Green, Pollock, Sorokin, and net. For a game that seemed like a wash, the Islanders managed to score 5 goals before the end of the first period.
That game made me so angry.
For those who don't know, if you don't follow Andrew on Twitter, 1, you're stupid. No, so a thing Andrew started, he's been doing a lot of the bet lines for games, money lines, over unders, and you've sucked at it the last week.
Bro, I am so good at getting 2 out of 3, which pays 0.
No, but that's what I'm saying. It's like the last week you have been breaking even, which in betting sucks.
Yeah, but you know what? Listen, that game made me so mad. Last leg of my parlay, under 5.5. I'm like, the Islanders are one of the worst offensive teams in hockey, and the Canucks are the Canucks. They're coming off a back-to-back, whatever. You send me a text, and I'm like, even better. And then I get home, take a shower for 10 minutes, and it's suddenly 4-1 or 4-0. I'm like, what happened?
Yeah. So the Islanders, they flew out of the gate, literally. Parise buries first goal of the game from Dobson. That was roughly about 3 or 4 minutes into the game. The next 2 goals from Nelson and Lee afterwards came within 31 seconds of that goal. So it was 3. All right, put it this way. It was 3-0 before the first TV timeout.
Mm-hmm.
Cizikas would bury the 4th goal just about 3 or 4 minutes later. Barzal would cap off the scoring in that period with about 5 minutes to go in the first period, going into the locker room with a 5-1 lead. Second period, it seemed almost as if you were dead in the water at this point. The 5-1.
I was asleep because I had no reason to continue watching.
The second period looked like it might have been a little bit of a collapse on the Islanders' end, as the Vancouver was able to cut the deficit to 5-3 going into the third. After being the classic Islanders and giving everybody on the East Coast a 1 o'clock panic attack, they did manage to pull away with a victory, 6-3 goal from Matt Martin. Sorokin looked pretty good, 34 saves, 37 shots. I finished the game with a 9-19. A game like that is something the Islander fans have been scratching and clawing for weeks. Obviously, like we said, scoring goals is one of the hardest things for the Islanders to do.
Yep.
See, they don't have a pure goal scorer.
Yep.
The thing I've been kind of going with is that I believe Wahlstrom in due time is going to be that pure goal scorer. I think everybody's got to be a little bit patient as far as he's concerned. My problem, though, is that it's a pure goal scoring situation that's been a problem since someone else was on Long Island. And that particular person was given wingers in Matt Molson and Kyle Opozo, which was not a bad line for a while. There was a brief period of time where that was regarded as one of the top 5 first lines in the league.
Yeah.
For, I would say, about a solid season.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lines 2 through 4 couldn't do jack.
I mean, there was a time when Opozo was a top player in the league.
Right. We had P.A. Parento shuffle through, had a 30-goal season left, never heard from him again. Brad Boyes came through, 25-goal season, never heard from him again. It seems as if making sure that your top guy at the time, having the pieces to play with, just not making sure they don't have that is seems to be the theme here. The dog. Yeah. Barzal's not going to stick around.
No.
Without some serious players.
Mm-hmm.
I understand we're a little bit cap stricken right now. A guy like Kyle Palmieri, with his, I think, half a point through 30 games, should not be making $5.5 million. Pado's $5 million. I'm willing to let go and kind of look the other way because it was a necessity at the time.
Yeah.
Andy Green and Chara, they need to go after the season.
They will.
Zach Parise, I would bring him back. I don't know how much Islander hockey you watch, other than when you have money deciding the factor. Zach Parise, there's jokes at work. He's never stopped moving. His legs do not stop moving. He's always grinding. He's always creating a play.
That guy's a hockey player.
And if he's going to do that, I don't care if he's going to produce. I want to see him create a chance. I don't care if he's a 30. He's 36. He's not going to be a 30-goal scorer anymore. Not
Yeah, of
everybody
course.
is Alex Ovechkin.
But at the same time, too, like you're gonna, if you don't have Chara and Andy Green and whoever, you need a veteran presence, and there you go.
Exactly. There's your veteran. And like
He's a good veteran.
And like guys like Green or Chara, Green more likely than Chara just because of age, even though they're only like 3 years apart. But Andy Green is a smaller guy. He can maneuver himself a little bit better. If they brought him back as a 7th D man where he's not playing every night and he only plays every week or like once a week or once every 2-3 weeks, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
I just looking at the Islander lineup now, like, I'm sorry, Anders Lee is not a good hockey player. He had one 40-goal season, and look, if you or I were in the NHL and we were 6'5" and stood in front of a goalie's face all season, chances are we'll walk out of there with 20 goals.
Probably.
You know what I mean? If look, he's a big kid. He's 6'5", 6'6", I think, like on his skates. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's not easy to move. So if I'm parked in front of the net, it's going to hit my stick. It's going to hit my skate. It's going to hit me in the ass.
Yep.
Like, it's just how it goes. Like, you and I could get away with scoring 20 goals like that in a season if we were trying.
Mm-hmm.
He has to be one of the worst puck handlers I've ever seen. He skates like words I can't say. Like Bailey, I'm a little bit more generous with Josh Bailey, based off of the fact that he has proven in the last couple of seasons that he is a playoff performer. When it comes to the playoffs, he balls out. I think some ridiculous stat where through like 40-something playoff games, he's got like 36 points. Like, he's a nut job.
Yeah,
That's why, like, for the playoffs, I have no problem with him sticking around. This is my own team, and I can't believe I actually have to tell you. I got to look at their roster.
I don't blame you. It's what I say about the Islanders every year, but like,
so I don't want to call them irrelevant, but it's so easy to forget because
they're a big bunch of nobodies who always have a great coach, but the coach isn't not doing as great right now as he should be. But that's not all his fault.
Like I'll run down the roster right now. Bailey, I'll keep him around. Barzal, I want him to stick around, but if he chose to leave at this point, I can't say I blame him. At least the first time around, there was a good argument around it, especially with a highly regarded GM and a highly regarded coach coming in. Now they came in, giving this kid the exact same treatment the other guy got. I can't tell you I blame him if he doesn't stick. Beauvillier, I could live with or without him. Kiefer Bellows, same thing. I can live with or without him. At this point, either keep him or play him every day or trade him. The kid's not going to get better watching from the press box. Cizikas, 6-year contract at $2 million a year. You'll never hear an argument out of me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Cal Clutterbuck, he's going to be a UFA at the end of the season. In Islander fashion, he's going to end up coming back unless he's going to retire on his own. Ross Johnston, that's pretty much who I think is the Cal Clutterbuck replacement should Cal Clutterbuck go.
Dude, I cannot hear that dude's name without thinking of the dude from Goon, the first Goon.
Yeah.
Ross Ray.
That's what he's tied to. Anders Lee, the fact that he's even a captain makes me irate.
That's insane.
I said it, 4 years ago now? And I still stand by it. Josh Bailey was robbed of being a captain of that team. He's the longest tenured Islander on the team right now.
Mm-hmm.
And he's slowly developed himself into a fan favorite.
And I could think of 3 other guys, too, that I'd rather have over Anders Lee.
Looking at this roster, I can think of many other guys I'd rather have. Matt Barzal was one of them, but he's also still a kid.
Yeah, there's also Pellick and Pullock.
Pullock. Matt Martin, $1.5 million a year for 4 years. I'm not going to argue with that.
Yeah, he gives a lot to you.
Brock Nelson, he's probably, if it came down to it and a trade was going down, or there was a move coming, he is the only person I would not trade.
Okay.
Because he's the only person that's consistent. A goal here, an assist here, 2 assists here, a goal and an assist here. He is the only consistent player on the team. You know what I mean? And there used to be a joke with him, and I'm sure you've heard of Brocktober. He would have 15 goals through October, and then you wouldn't see him again until March.
It wouldn't show up on the score sheet ever again.
Yeah, but now he's consistently showing up. I'm pretty sure. He was on the score sheet twice last week, too. So far this week, he hasn't done anything, but the Islanders do play tonight, being Saturday night at 10 o'clock. JG Pajot, again, he's a fan favorite. He's a worker. I can't say I particularly disagree with that signing.
Mm-hmm.
If they could buy out Kyle Palmieri right now, I would. Look, I'm sorry, but $5.5 million per, you should have more than 6 points.
Yeah, I
get
agree there.
I get it. We've had 3 separate COVID breaks. He's been hurt. I get it. There's circumstance around it. But come on.
Yeah, I mean, that can only go so far. There's only so many excuses you can hit.
Yeah, but Parise is a beautiful soul.
He's a great guy.
Oliver Wahlstrom just needs to be treated like
a hockey player
and let him just play. Because when he's allowed to just go out and play, I want to say he's borderline unstoppable. Moving into the defense, Sebastian Aho, the defensive Sebastian Aho.
Gets me every time.
I know. Again, keep him or play him every day or trade him. He's been in the system now for 6 years, and he's not on a full-time roster spot yet. It's just if he's not playing yet, there's a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's a reason why he's not playing every day, he needs to go get something for him, even if it's mid-level picks now.
Yeah.
Chara, look, we know that's a playoff signing and nothing more.
Yep.
Dobson, I love you. Andy Green, I have no problem with Andy Green because he's still playing like he's 30. Mayfield, I never liked him to begin with. I think he's just too vulnerable to the stupid penalty. Pelican Pollock, in the next 3-4 years, arguably going to be a top 3 D pairing in the league.
Yeah.
As long as they actually stay paired together and it's not Pollock and Mayfield. Putting 2 offensive defensemen on the same line.
Yeah.
Sorokin obviously is the goalie of the future here. Varlamov is basically here until they can either move him or he expires.
Mm-hmm. Or he expires.
His contract.
I know.
Got off on a little bit of a tangent here.
That usually happens with you and the Islanders.
Yeah. So really quickly, I'll circle back to last night. They were defeated by Edmonton 3-1, as we had spoken about at the beginning of the show. In new Oilers head coach Jay Woodcroft's debut. The only goal came from Beauvillier on the power play in the second period. Sorokin, 33 saves, 36 shots with a .917 save percentage. It's just very hard to not get upset.
Yeah.
Especially when you're coming off seasons of a second round playoff appearance, a conference finals, and a conference semifinal, if you must, appearance. It's hard to not get frustrated.
Yeah.
We can talk about free agents all day. For this offseason.
There's plenty of them.
There's plenty of them.
There's an unholy amount of them.
Yeah, realistically, this is going to be a deep free agency.
Which is live.
Which is live. At this point, honestly, I would take a shot on Phil Kessel.
I mean, why not?
At that, yeah, if in Arizona he can still have 20-goal seasons. I mean,
yeah.
Where's the harm there?
Yeah, really.
The Island, there's rumors going around that the Blackhawks have been getting ready to try to move Fleury.
Sure.
If they would take Varlamov.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, well, because even Fleury is just not. I wouldn't even want him to stick around after the year. I would want more of a, hey, we need a veteran who's going to win the big games. And we're lucky if our guys can win a game. Joe Pavelski has basically made it known he is Dallas or bust. Bergeron's not going anywhere.
My number one free agent this year. Will he finally leave Calgary? Johnny Hockey?
I think it's almost said. I think it's almost said and done that he's out of Calgary at this point. Look, they've been
I
trying.
would do unholy things to get him in a Ranger uniform.
Look, but they've been trying to trade him for the last 3
Forever,
seasons.
yeah.
But their asking price is astronomical.
It is. Yeah.
And when we finally thought it was going to happen, when he was asked about it after the morning skate, he only got off the ice to pee. So
Incredible.
See, I'm going to tell. All right, you know what? We'll talk Ranger for a couple minutes, only because we had nothing for you today. I think Johnny Gaudreau would be probably one of the dumbest things you could do.
I know. I just love him so much.
Between Panarin, Gaudreau, and like Zibanejad, like you're already talking about a very tiny first line. Like you're going to get walloped. You know what I mean?
In my franchise mode in NHL 22, that's actually my top line.
In my Be a Pro mode, I'm playing on a line with Elias Pettersson and Brock Besser. You know what that tells me? Absolutely
What?
nothing, because it's
Nothing. I know.
Which I was actually playing right before we started recording. I was so mad. I got drafted by Vancouver.
Ooh, yeah, I know. I got drafted by Seattle. It's a bad time.
But you know what? At least Seattle's fun. It's like, oh, I was on the virtual inaugural team. And it's like, but we're still terrible.
We still give up 6 goals a game.
Yeah, giving up 6 goals a game. And it's funny because I did a Be a Pro as a... Ooh, that hurt. I cracked my hip and it felt like I got shot.
Oh.
I did a Be a Pro as a goalie. And I got drafted to Seattle. And I was like, oh, this is going to be fun. And it was like, oh, no, I'm going to get murdered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not great.
No, I mean, look, I'll be honest with you. Vancouver, my team is disgusting.
Vancouver very easily could be disgusting. There's a couple of little things.
I'm playing on All-Star mode, and I've got like 50 points through like 22 games. So I'm dirty. But, I forgot. We're done talking about the show. I almost forgot.
Classic.
How could I forget?
The best part.
It is the best part. And I think it landed on the bed, too. Go figure.
You're nuts.
Yeah, it was a quiet week. Not as far as our teams go.
Yeah, especially me. I've had nothing to do.
The league, thankfully the league has kept us busy today.
Yeah, there's been plenty going on throughout the country.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure this coming week will be maybe a little bit closer to the same.
I get a whole 2 games.
We didn't do our predictions.
Oh, yeah, let's go, dude.
Oh, man, hold on. Let me pull up the schedules. Yeah, this is what happens when we take a week off. We got to shake the rust off.
You guys play Buffalo and Boston.
Okay, I'm looking at your schedule now.
You play Boston and Detroit.
You play Boston and Detroit? All right, go ahead. Make your prediction.
2-0.
I'm playing Boston and Buffalo.
Yes.
I'm also going 2-0.
Especially with no Marchand. If there's no Marchand, like...
Well, no Marchand makes that game easier for both of us.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Buffalo...
Come on.
3 points. You know what I mean?
Unless Alex Tuke destroys you.
So I think we both go 2-0 this week.
Yeah.
Which sucks. Because if you go 2-0 and we go 2-0...
It's bad for you guys.
We're not catching up. So... I feel like there's so much more we didn't cover, but we covered most of everything.
It's because it wasn't a lot of Rangers around.
I know. I feel naked.
I feel naked. You have a Motorist jersey on. You're not naked.
Oh, that's right. Of course. How could I forget? All right. With that being said, we get to go away from you for a week. We know you don't want to see us. That's fine. This is the part of the show where I'm going to butcher your name again. I know it. From our friends at Lividity LLC, my friends at the Eastern Observer, my name is Tyler Adelle. This is my friend Andrew Mucaria.
Oh my God.
Did I get it?
You got it.
I got it. We wish you a very saucy Sunday. And we'll see you next time.